Hello, good morning, everyone. Good morning here from Michigan, USA. So let's get started. Many of you guys know me. Some of you guys may not know me because you are new to my channel. Anyways, my name is Waseem Haider, and I am a professor of mechanical and materials engineering at Central Michigan University here in the United States. As you know that right now is a time to apply for admissions and scholarships in the US universities. Usually people apply in September, October, November, and December, and sometimes in January as well, to get accepted or to get start their studies in August and September of next year, which is 2026. So right now, many universities are accepting applications for masters and PhDs. So I thought maybe I can hold this session to kind of answer your questions and kind of tell you the overall process on how to get started and how to go about it. So let's get started. So first of the few things, or first of the very important thing is how you will be selecting a university, right? So you'll be selecting a university. First, you got to look at your profile, right? How strong is your GPA? Do you fulfill the English proficiency requirement exams? Do you have a strong, like statement of purpose? Do you have a strong recommendation letters? Or in general, if you have any research publications, or if you have any industry or any internship or any other experience, so all those things make your profile stronger. Okay, so if your profile is strong, then you should apply in top tier universities, maybe two or three top tier universities, two or three maybe middle tier universities, and maybe one in a slightly low rank universities. Okay. However, if your profile is not top of the top, it's not very excellent, but you still have a good GPA, such as 3.4, 3.5, or so on. You may or may not have a research publications, but you have a pretty decent English proficiency exam. You should be able to get, if you would be able to get strong recommendation letters, then still I would recommend you maybe at least choose couple schools in the top ranked, and maybe three or four schools or universities in the middle tier, and maybe couple in the low ranked universities. So again, the selection of universities also depend on your profile, right? So I've explained many times that you can. I have. If there's a one video I want you to watch from my channel, that is about how to apply to U.S. universities complete guide. If someone knows which video I'm talking about, it's the video in which I have shared my screen. So if someone can share the link here in the chat box, I would highly appreciate that. Anyways, very quickly, let's say if you are from computer science, you can go to computer science and US News Ranking. Click on the first link. It should display all the universities which are in computer science in the US. Okay, so again, then once you select few universities, look at their admission requirement. Go to their website and look at their admission requirement. Look at their TOEFL score. Look at their if they accept Duolingo, how many letters of recommendation they need, what is their application form, and so on and so forth. So once you have all that, then I would highly encourage you to contact professors. And the main reason to contact professor is to virtually meet with them, and so that you can learn about their research, about their research group, and they can learn about you. So every time when you write an email, always request for a virtual meeting, by Zoom or WebEx or whatever is the software you use. Okay. Thank you, Amir, for sharing that. I highly appreciate it. Okay, so once you select, once you approach those professors, and especially if they encourage you to apply, then you have to formally apply into MS or PhD program. When I say formally apply, meaning that you have to go to their website, fill up the application form, and submit all the required document. Once you do that, right? Once you do that, then your application is under process, and then it is, by the way, it is extremely important that you write an excellent statement of purpose. That is one of the very, very important document. You really have to work on it. It's not something which you can write in a couple days and just submit and so on. No, you really have to spend time. You need to tell your story. You need to like explain why the admission committee needs to like give you a scholarship, or why the admission committee needs to give you like admission, right? So you need to kind of explain them. So that is very important, and make sure you ask from your family, friends, or professors to get help from them, get it reviewed from them, revise it, and so on and so forth. Okay. So I know the main session for today's main session is also about the questions, and the difficulties which you are facing, so I can help you out, or at least direct you in the right direction. So just hold on to your questions for the next few minutes, and then I will come back to your questions really soon. So also remember that usually once you complete your application form, by the way, once you contact professors, and if you do get a positive response, if a professor tells you go ahead and apply, I think that's very, very positive, because they need to make sure that you fulfill all the application requirement set by the graduate school, because the professor cannot really accept you right away, right? They need to look that you have a right education, right courses, right recommendation letters, and statement of purpose, and so on and so forth, right? Because ultimately the university gives you admission, and a lot of times professor accept you in his or her lab and offer you a scholarship for that. Okay. I know some people are asking me about undergraduate. So undergraduate, very quickly, I will not go too detail about the undergraduate studies, but right now it's November. So November, December, January, February, March, you can apply for undergraduate programs, which mean bachelor's program. Even if you have not completed your A levels or FSC or high school, you can still apply based on your 11th grade, or based on your O level school grades. Okay. So it is a little bit competitive to get a scholarship for the bachelor's, or I should say, it is very competitive to get a scholarship for bachelor's. But if you take SAT, right, Scholastic Aptitude Test, or if you take ACT, American College Test, that really increases your chances of getting scholarship. Okay. Okay, perfect. So I will do that. Someone is telling me that maybe I should complete the roadmap first before taking the questions. Okay, sure, I will do that. So, anyways, so this is kind of how the bachelor's degree program work in the U.S. That you can apply, anytime between 4 to about 7 or 8 months in advance. So if you want to join in fall of 2026, then you need to apply now, or you can apply for the bachelor's within the next 3 or 4 months. However, for master's or PhD, some of the universities have their deadlines have already passed, right? But many universities have their deadlines in December, and some universities have their deadlines in January. So right now is the time, if you are thinking, even if you have not completed your bachelor's, and you will complete your bachelor's, let's say in next 8 months or 10 months, that's perfectly fine. It's okay. You can apply for a master's or PhD now, and complete your current degrees within the next, as I said, 8 or 10 months or so, and then start your master's or PhD in August or September of 2026. Okay. I've told repeatedly that you do not have to have a master's degree to start a PhD program in the US. Okay. If you have a bachelor's degree, or if you're about to complete a bachelor's degree within about a year or so, you can directly apply into a PhD programs in the US. It's great if you have a research publications, but if you don't have a research publications, that's perfectly fine. It's okay if you don't have a research publications, you can still be accepted. Of course, regarding recommendation letters, you also regarding recommendation letters, you have to request your current professors or an employer to write the letters for you. Okay, and those you need to request those letters well in advance, because some people may write the letter right after you request them, but some people are really really busy. They need several weeks or a months in advance, or they would be busy or traveling or doing something, and they may not be able to write the letter for you right away. So what I would recommend you is to contact professors or whoever your referees and ask them to write a letter for you as early as possible. So as I said, you can directly apply into PhD program right after your bachelor's. But again, your bachelor's must be at least 4 years, or in other words, you have to have 16 years of education to get to apply into master's or into a PhD program. And that's okay. As I said, you don't have to have completed your degree. You can apply basically, 8 or 10 months before you graduate. So that's the major purpose. So again, if I just kind of provide you a summary, so you'll be submitting an application form. Sometimes they have an application fee, right? Those application fee sometimes can be waived, especially if you're from an underprivileged or a humble background. You can always request for application fee waiver. You have to mainly talk with professors, may or may not know about it. So it's always a good idea to talk with a graduate program director or graduate program coordinator, and ask them if there is any application fee waiver program, for people from a humble or a privileged background. Other than that, you most of the time you would need an English proficiency exam. It could be TOEFL, it could be IELTS, it could be Duolingo, right? PTE. So there's a lot of exams, and you need to see which one you need to take. In general, if your university you're applying to accept Duolingo, I would highly encourage you to take that, because Duolingo is easy, it is online, and it is cheaper, much more cheaper than TOEFL or IELTS or other exams. So I would highly encourage you to do that. Okay. Regarding letters, you can ask recommendation letters from anybody who can comment on your studies, on your professional behavior, on your research, on your leadership skills. And of course, if that person was one of your professors, that's great. If he or she was your boss or employer, that's fine as well. Somebody who is more experienced, somebody who have supervised you or trained you, right? Those are really good if you have those. So again, maybe towards the end we can talk about postdoctoral as well. So I know someone is right now asking for a postdoctoral studies. So if you have a PhD degree, then I would encourage you to go to academickeys.com. It's ACADEMICKEYS, academickeys.com, or try higheredjobs.com, HIGHEREDJOBS.com, higheredjobs.com. So these two websites, right, academickeys.com and higheredjobs.com, are extremely good to look for a postdoctoral position in the US. Okay. Okay, so someone is asking that I've gotten a reply from a professor from Georgia Tech that your profile is good, but currently I cannot guarantee funding. So what does it mean? Please guide. Okay, again, Tech in general, by the way, the behavior of the U.S. professors is that they would not, they would, I mean, unless if they have a money right there sitting with them, then they can say, yes, I can guarantee you funding. If the funding they are about to receive, or it may take several months for them to get funding. How can they guarantee you, right? But if I were you, I would definitely go ahead and apply, because I want to take all the chances to see, even if a professor likes your profile and is encouraging you to apply, I would highly encourage you to apply for that one. Okay. Professor, I'm considering to take a gap year. I completed my 12th in September. My question is, that is it acceptable for the US universities to consider those students for undergrads? Yes, it is very much acceptable. There should not be a problem. Another person is saying, I'm from Nepal. I have published 10 research papers. Excellent. And I'm currently in the 7th semester of BS Agriculture. Now I want to apply in GR in the US. How can I find a professor? Again, the link, if you see the link, I think there was someone who shared the link on how to apply to a US university's complete guide video of mine. Go ahead and watch that video. Make sure to take notes and systematically make a like a Excel sheet or a spreadsheet where you can list universities, write their deadlines, and write all sorts of their requirements, like English proficiency, letters, statement of purpose, and all those ones. So, and then plan your application. I think it's a great time for you. You have excellent profile, so I would also encourage you to apply. My fourth semester, Ozair is asking, I'm fourth semester of my MS and will end near July. So question is the fourth semester result will be required or not? Because I'll announce near September. No, you don't need your fourth semester results. You can apply to US universities with 2 or 3 semesters of your MS. So that should not be a problem. And of course, you need your bachelor's results, right? Samir is asking, I am applying for a PhD from Pakistan and I want to complete my thesis from USA. Is this possible? You can complete a part of your thesis, not maybe your full thesis. So you have to contact a professor and tell them that you are interested in a short-term research position. So if the US professor invite you, let's say for 6 months or 1 year, so that when you come here, you can complete that research work and write your thesis. Okay. Samir, I think I answered your question. So I graduated from PU with GPA of 2.77 in materials in 2025. I sent an email to grad school about GRE that strong my application, but they said GRE required no more. So what should I do? Again, as your GPA is slightly low, 2.77 out of 4. So again, I would encourage you, try to look for some professors in your university and try to do some research. Try to publish some articles, right? That could be one thing. Internship might help as well. And strong recommendation letters and strong statement of purpose can also help you in getting admission. Okay. So someone is asking, I believe Anoop is asking, I completed my master's. I want to pursue my PhD in entomology. Is it better to send the mail directly or fill the application? I would encourage you first select universities, look at their admission requirement. If you feel that, yes, I can complete those admission requirements, then contact professors and maybe virtually meet with them. Again, it's very important that professor needs to feel comfortable with you and you need to feel comfortable with the professor and their research areas and so on and so forth. So once you kind of you feel positive and they give you the positive response, then go ahead and apply. Okay. The next question is, if someone have their tertiary education from overseas institute where the official language of instruction is English, does it's enough to fulfill the language requirement for PhD? So sometimes it may work, but some other times it may not work. So it really depends from university to university. Okay. Sir, can we tell the visa officer that my uncle is sponsoring me and still get the study visa? Yes, it is possible. Um, yes, it is possible. Other than that, I mean, it also depends on your whole case, right? Okay, can I use my undergraduate final research work as a research statement or work when emailing a professor. I need guide. Okay, research. Again, the research statement, or how do I say? Like, yes, you can say that this is work you have done, but somehow you need to also tell about your future, right? What's your future plan? How do you plan to work um, with the future professor, right? So the state so state a research statement is not only about your previous or current research, it's also about your future research, right? So you need to think into it and look at the professor's research areas and then try to make some sort of a statement. And so that's why it is also good to talk with the professors. That's why it's also good to talk with the professors so that they can help you and guide you, right? Okay. Hi, Professor Osama from Pakistan. Okay. Also, I emailed few professors from different universities but cannot get a reply. So, should I apply to PhD in that university? Like, is it necessary to get a reply? No, it is not necessary. It's not necessary to get a reply from a professor. So, of course, you can if sometimes professors are too busy and we get a lot of emails every single day. So sometimes it's hard to reply to each one of the student. If you don't get a reply, then you can directly apply into the program. Can you please talk about a little bit about letter of motivation? If someone English is not well, how can I write it? Um, First of all, if you're going to an English speaking country, let's say if you are coming to the US to study, then you have to have your letter of recommendation written in English. And so if you cannot write really well, then I would just first encourage you to improve your English so that you can write well, right? Otherwise, there's no point. Otherwise, you have to come here and study English for at least a year before you start the program. Okay. I'm in the third semester of master's. Can I apply on the basis of that? I'll be graduating in 2026 fall, so I want to. Yes, you can apply on that basis. Okay, what is the best way to find a professors who research aligned with mine interest, and how close does that match needs to be? It doesn't have to be super close. Of course, you can always diverge your research, like focus. As I said before, I have explained in my video how to apply in the US Universities Complete Guide on YouTube, how to find universities, and then how to go to their websites and look for professors. So I would encourage you to watch that. That would help you. I did my MS in civil engineering. Plan B, can I get PhD scholarship? Yes, you can. I'm in the fifth semester BSCS at FAST University with 3.5. That's a very good GPA. Planning to take IELTS after my sixth semester and apply for admission for fall 2027. I'm also working as, I think you have a great profile. So if you stay on the top of everything, try to maintain or increase your GPA, that would be very, very beneficial for you. I'm currently working as a lecturer in biology. Can I ask for recommendations from my employer? Will that be accepted? Yes, it would be accepted. That's a great way to go. Sir, why most of the cases are getting administrative processing? I don't know exactly, but if the case is not very clear to the visa officer, then in order to say, in order to before they approve or reject the visa, they send the case for the administrative processing. Okay, you have mentioned about your video on complete admission procedure in the US. Can we find the link of that video? Jawad Afzal is asking for the link of that video. I believe just a few minutes ago, Amir has shared that link. Can someone go and share the link of that video where I have shared my screen? Hopefully someone should do that, Jawad. Okay, Uzair is asking, sir, if I apply after second semester in 2026, but the fourth semester results announced near September of 2027, before going to the US, classes starts in August, MS fourth results required or not? In general, it works is that you will get admission and scholarship and you will come to the US, right? So before you start your degree program, or sometimes within a week or two, they would ask you to submit your final results. Okay, Nadia Asad is asking uh, that my daughter goes to NED. Uh, okay, I think she's just telling me that her daughter is in NED, so I'm not really sure what the next question is, but if she's in the last year, she can apply for master's or PhD. Okay, Yunus Khan is asking, Dr. Saab, I'm looking for a postdoc. My PhD is almost completed, just waiting for the final defense in the field of management sciences. Can also have some impact factor publication with industry and teaching. Okay, great. Um, I mean, Miss Nadia is asking that it's hard to get the letters from a professor. So again, she needs to work in advance with professors and politely request them. I hope they should give the letters. This is what we do. We always give letters, right? So I think they should give letters to your daughter. So okay, so Nazim is asking. Um, In the continuation of my above question, I would like to add that my uncle is a US citizen and I asked you to show him as a sponsor during the study visa interview and still get the visa. Okay. I hope it should be okay. I mean, if you can support here on your own or your parents can support you, that's great. But if you have no other option and if you have your uncle is your sponsor, then I think it should be okay. I have an interview in December 15th for a master's degree. What do you say I should do? Again, just be confident, be real, be honest. No, they may ask you, you know, how many universities you have applied and where you have applied. Tell them how many of them you got accepted, how many of them offered you scholarship, and why you select that particular university. What's your degree of program? Who's funding you? All these general questions, right? But there's nothing usually really to worry about. Okay, the next question is, sir, USA Universities provides any fully funded winter camp or internship. Is there any website where I can find that information? I want to find some internship in US during PhD. Okay, I'm not aware of any particular website, but what I can tell you is all the big companies, right? Depending on, I have one of my student, he got an internship in Tesla and spent a few months in Tesla. They even paid him, and then afterwards, he came back, he completed his degree, and got a job from Tesla. So it is possible that you contact those either the companies, industry, or the universities, research centers, national labs, right? And you really have to approach them and ask them if they have any such internships. But I mean, I'm very positive you should be able to find some. Can I message professor in this number instead of emailing him? I think it's better to email a professor. It's okay to send email without any academic transcript because I'm currently in the seventh semester and I want to work on a biocircular economy. What attachments should be there? In general, first, maybe you don't really need an attachment. You can just send a simple email. And then later on, you can send your 1 or 2 page CV in the PDF. I have 3.58 and an automotive engineer from NED planning to pursue my master's in US. Great. I think you have a great GPA. You're from a good school. So you should be able to do that. Amir has shared the link for that video. So thank you, Amir. And please, for those of you guys who want to look at that video, can watch that. Okay, Bilal is asking 3.35 CGPA with 7.5 IELTS and Doctor of Veterinary Medicine, looking for master's. Okay, what should I go? I think again, you watch that above video, select universities, and formally apply. I think you should be all good to go. You have a great GPA, great English, so you should be all fine, I think. While apply for PhD with my undergrad CGPA, be considered or MPhil GPA. In general, your undergraduate GPA is very important, but professors may also look at your master's or MPhil, your GPA. In general, to me, I think they would consider your bachelor's GPA. They may give a more weightage for bachelor's GPA than a master's or a MPhil GPA. My uncle has told me to take GRE to get TRA position and for the graduate funding. Yeah, it's great to take GRE because that always helps. But if the professors or university tell you that you don't really have to, of course, then you don't really have to. But I would agree with your uncle. I have an interview on December 15th for master's. What do you say? Okay, I think we just already talked about it. Having MPhil in zoology, can I apply for PhD in biomedical engineering in USA? Again, for biomedical engineering, you may need some mathematics, some calculus courses. And at the same time, you need some, so I don't know. If you have that background, then yes, you can apply. I have an interview on December 15th. I think we already talked about it, right? So, what are the chances of admission without contact with the professors? I mean, if you have a strong profile, then it should not be a problem at all. I encourage me to apply for PhD. Keep in touch. What's your opinion? Yeah, I would say I would highly encourage you to apply for PhD. I'm sorry, I didn't understand your question, Hamad. I'm encouraging you to apply, so just go ahead and then apply, right? Sir, university matters during scholarship, either my degree for high tech or low tier universities. In general, if a university, again, it also depends on your profile, right? As I said in the beginning, if you have a strong profile, then try to go to the higher rank universities, right? Um, but in general, almost all the universities which offer PhD program in the US are good schools. So it's hard to go wrong. Any school you go to should be a good school. So nothing really to worry about. I want to know if there's a good chances of getting full scholarship for economics and master's or PhD. Again, if you have a strong profile, then yes, you do have a good chances of getting funding. Mohsin Abbas is asking, Assalamu alaikum, wa alaikum assalam. Please tell me if someone has hardly any research experience, so should they give GRE subject to compensate for that deficiency? Again, that's why it is important to have a conversation with your prospective supervisor or with a professor, right? So to talk to them even 1 year in advance and tell them that you are really, really interested, or talk with a graduate program director and tell them that you are interested in their program. Let's say you select 5 universities. You talk with each one of them, either the professor or a graduate program director or graduate program coordinator, and talk to them what your plans are that you are interested in applying, and ask them if it's good for you to take GRE, subject GRE, or anything else, so that you can strengthen your application. If someone has done MSc from the UK recently, but currently have an unofficial transcript, so it's okay to submit that for a time being. It may or may not work. So even if it's a partial transcript, even if it's not a complete transcript, right? Let's say if you are in a 2 years program, but you have completed only 1 year, so that 1 year transcript needs to come directly from university to be called it official. So that should work. Again, you have to check with the university. It may be fine that if you don't take IELTS. Okay, Kashif is asking, I have a 3.65 CGPA with MS in Design and Manufacturing from NUST with a publication in Q1 Journal in the domain of concrete 3D printing. I think you have a great GPA, you're from a good school, you have a publication in a Q1 Journal, your case is very strong, so I would highly encourage you to apply. If the department says funding is not available for the master's, is there any reason to contact a professor? Either try to go for a PhD, because there's a lot more chances of getting funding in PhD than in master's. And other times professors accept you in a master's and they don't have a funding, but once you go there and you join, sometimes in the first or sometimes in the second semester, they can give you funding, right? Especially if you're a strong candidate. Sir, if visa officer asked about scholarship and if they don't have any scholarship, what is the best possible answer I can give? you can just say that, my university was not offering scholarships this year for masters because of the budget cuts, or whatever the reason is, right? So that's, but I wanted to go to US. That's why, my parents are funding me, or so on, right? um, okay, so Jeevan is asking, I have completed my master's in education and want to pursue a PhD. Okay, in education, I believe. So I think yes, there are a lot of great programs which offer PhD programs in great universities which offer PhD programs in education. So I would highly encourage you to go for that. And Abyssinia is, sorry if I'm pronouncing your name incorrectly, from Ethiopia, also is applying for power electronics. Again, I would say select universities and apply for admission. Okay. Kashi is asking, what are my chances of fully funded scholarship in metal additive manufacturing? I think you have a pretty good chances. I would say try Pennsylvania State University, University of Virginia, Ohio State, University of Florida, Gainesville, Florida International. All these are good schools, and they have a great, additive manufacturing, you know, research groups. I have a 3.8 GPA from Women University of Swabi in chemistry. I'm a fresh graduate and have no degree. Can I apply for master's? What should I do? Yes, you can apply for master's. Follow all the application process. Submit all of the documents. You should be good to go. I've emailed a professor for supervision at UCLA, and he replied, I encourage you to apply and mention my name as a potential supervisor in the statement. Is that a positive response? Yes, I believe it's a positive response, because professor wants to see if you can fulfill the university requirement, right? So I would encourage you to apply. If I were you, I would apply. Sir, Prof reply, I encourage you to apply. Keep in touch. What does it mean? It means that go ahead and apply. There are some master's program in translation or interpretation. It's not easy to find about it. Um, Again, if you watch my video, you can type in this translation or interpretation and look at US News Ranking. If there are any programs, which I believe they should be, and they should click on the first link in Google, it should help you. Again, US News Ranking, interpretation or translation, and then click on the first link. It should take you to the programs. Hi, Professor. Hira is asking, I have 6 publications, 4 book chapters. My GPA is 3.75. My department is microbiology. I don't have IELTS. Can I? I do have a chance. Okay, I know IELTS is slightly expensive. So select universities. Many universities take Duolingo, and I said Duolingo is easy, cheap, and online. So you can take Duolingo right sitting at your home, and it is not very costly as well. So I would encourage you to do that. My question is that in my Pakistan degree should be from higher tier, or I can get scholarship if my Pakistani degree is from lower tier. If you, till the time your university is recognized, so you should be good to go. I just graduated from high school. Can you make me understand what is the research in university? Okay, Joshua, in general, all the different innovation and research in the university, so people, professors try to work on a different projects, right? And so they work along with undergraduate and graduate students to work on those projects. So they do research and publish research, and 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 take the research. They do the translational research so that um, they can have a startup companies and take that technology. Okay. I've completed my bachelor's in physics in 2024 with the CGPA 3.8. I don't have toilets. Should I get admission in master's in my home country, or take IELTS and apply for PhD? You can take IELTS, and I would encourage you to apply for PhD, right? Or take Duolingo if the university accepts Duolingo. I have a GPA of 3.2, IELTS of 6.5, and the response from professor is encouraging, but the admission process in UCLA is competitive. What do you suggest? I think your GPA is just average. Your IELTS is just average. However, if you are, because every time when you talk to a professor, when you write them an email, or when you formally apply in your recommendation letter, how motivated you are, how passionate you are in getting admission, in getting scholarship. All those things matters. If you are able to show your passion and motivation, then I think you have a good chances. If someone gets admission in PhD and later on decides to discontinue PhD, then does he get master's degree or not? A lot of times they do get master's degree, but sometimes it may not work. But most of the time, yes, they can offer you a master's degree. Sir, would a graduate funding suffice for showing funds? Most of the time, yes, it should be enough. Sir, you accept PhD students in material science and engineering. My research focus is energy storage, supercapacitors related. We do have a program in advanced materials in a PhD program. Right now, I'm not taking students. I have a MS student and I'm taking another MS student hopefully in the near future, but I don't have any plan to take a PhD student. My PhD student was already graduated, so I'm just taking a little break from that. Is it necessary to overlap between the master's research and intended doctoral research? Not necessarily. You can slightly divert your areas, so that should be fine. Again, you have a great profile, great GPAs in bachelor's and master's. Is it manageable to do PhD without funding with odd jobs? In general, in America, I have not seen anyone doing PhD without funding. So I think you should be able to get funding. Is there opportunity of getting scholarship in PhD in public policy? Public policy, public health, these things, these departments have become very, very important, especially after COVID. So yes, there's a good chance that you can get funding. What universities would you recommend for an automotive engineer for masters? Again, a lot of times either mechanical, mechatronics, manufacturing engineering, and sometimes they have automotive engineering too. So again, use my video to find the universities so that you can target from some of them. Sir, I taught as a section leader in Stanford a 6-week program certificate. Oh, UC Berkeley City. Okay, I'm trying to see. Will a lower GPA? It might help, right? Because you already have some experience, so it might help. Again, it depends on your overall application packet. What are the chances of getting PhD with a bachelor's degree in economics? Yes, you do have. You can apply for a PhD after economics, but again, it depends on your overall profile, right? Sir, in university in Pakistan, low merit we know, but in USA university easy accept PhD students in energy storage. I'm sorry, it's hard for me to understand your question. Professor responded and forwarded my application to graduate coordinator, and he instructed me to apply for MS. Is it a green signal to apply? Should I apply? I would encourage you to apply. Does it matter to apply for USA with a low GPA? Low GPA, of course, you have to have some other things in your profile so that you can compensate your low GPAs, such by research publications, internship, industry experience, or anything which can help and support, right, your case. What are the good universities in MS for environmental chemistry? Again, I have explained in the video how to select for the universities. If you follow that one, you would get the list of all universities. And as I said, most of the universities which offer masters and PhD in the US are good universities, so you don't have to worry too much about them. I'm interested because most of the time, when people apply from Africa, India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, Nepal, Bhutan, and all those countries, they worry too much about funding because in their own countries, they have a very low tier, very high rank universities and so on and so forth. Yes, of course, we in the US we do have that system, but even the low rank universities in the US are very, very good universities because they have a good system. So if I were you, I would not worry too much about it. I'm interested in PhD in large language models, but most of the professors don't even reply. Yeah, I'm sorry to hear that, but so keep writing them and hopefully you'll get a reply. Or maybe you should try to write the emails. Don't write the generic emails. Write a very specialized email and put your heart into it, right? So it should work for you. Is there any disadvantage of applying the greater number of universities? No disadvantage. That should be fine. 2 year study gap should not be a professor. I'm working in Silicon Valley. Okay, perfect. That's great. With 10 years study gap, 6 publications as a university teacher, can I get admission? Yes, you can, Rizwan. That should not be a problem. I have an admission at the University of Chicago for the second master's in public policy. What's your advice on how to go about the visa interview? It's okay. I mean, University of Chicago is one of the top universities. So if you're going there for your second master's in a very important topic, which is public policy, so I would encourage you to go for it. Sir, my FYP is nickel-based superalloys, and their characterization could you accept me in your research group for masters? I am not working with superalloys. My work is more on additive manufacturing and 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 biomaterials. I've done BBA finance and aspire to get MBA from USA. That's great. What are the programs that gives you a high chance of fully funding for master's program and higher chance of visa sponsorship? I think we talked about the programs like AI, data science, finance, engineering like mechanical and civil engineering, computer science is one of the best fields, and so on. So all these are great for students. My bachelor's from FAST with a GPA of 3.05 and MS from a low tier with 4 GPA. Should I apply on the basis of BS or MS? You can submit both transcripts, but they would take your GPA from master's and PhD, but they will look more at your GPA from bachelor's, I think. Professor, Duolingo scores are acceptable for PhD funding, like securing T or G position. I heard IELTS scores make better sense. So go to the university where you're applying. If they say that they accept Duolingo, then you have nothing to worry about. Most professors are telling me to submit formal application before they can consider me for a position. Is there any universities where professors can directly recruit students? No. A lot of times in the US, or you have to apply to directly to the university. Okay. Give some tips regarding visa interview. Okay, someone is asking about the visa interview. Okay, so once you go, try to make sure you have a nice folder with you. In that folder, you should have, if you have applied in 5 universities and if you have 3 acceptances, make sure you put their acceptance letters, right? Put your I-20, put all your transcripts and degrees from your bachelor's and master's, or if you have taken IELTS or Duolingo, any other proficiency, English proficiency exam, put it. If you have a GRE, GMAT, or any other standardized exams, put it there too. Put your CV, right? Make sure you go through CV. Try to have a 1 or 2 page CV also in that. So that's number one. Secondly, one of the common questions during the interview they will ask you is how many universities you have applied and why did you apply there, right? So you would say I applied in this, and this university, and I got accepted in these schools, and this is what I selected because of this and this and this reason, right? Try to keep your answers brief and also be very, very honest. Okay, that's very important. And of course, your funding plan is very important. If you or your parents are sponsoring you or your family member is sponsoring you, make sure you have your bank statement. Also, you need to show your strong ties with your country, right? All those things are important. And also, you need to know what are your plans after you graduate from the US. If you plan to come back, what you're going to do, and so on and so forth, right? So, again, these are some of the visa tips I have for you. I have 85% in matric and 66% in inter. I want to get 70 to 80, 100% scholarship. I haven't applied to any universities, but yet wanted to give SAT, but now it's too late. No, I think, Hassan, you are not late. If for your bachelor's, you can still apply. You can apply pretty much until February or March. So, okay. So someone is asking, I hope MPhil in biomedical engineering focus on biomaterials. Yes, so you need to formally apply into the university. If you want to apply in Central Michigan, it is the website is cmich.edu. So you can put my name in the statement of purpose, and then we will see how many people apply. And if your application is strong, then you can get accepted. Okay. Um, So, with that being said, someone is asking, I have been denied a visa twice and I've also a third time interview tomorrow. What would you recommend me? I would recommend you to be honest, and I would recommend you to keep a folder with all of your document inside it. Uh, and also, an important thing is what has changed the first time, two times you got denied, and what changed in this third time. That's also very important, so that you can convince a visa officer. Another question I have is kindly request for a scholarship and kindly requesting a scholarship in the USA having diploma in hotel management. Yes, hotel management is a good field, so you can apply for a scholarship there. How to apply? Again, you're asking me almost the same questions. As I said, if you go to YouTube and you watch my video on how to apply to US University's complete guide. I have explained step by step what needs to be done, how would you be selecting universities, how you can get professors' email and write it to them and request for the virtual meeting. Okay, all of those ones are important. So Saad, I just answered your question. BBA Finance on fully funded competitive scholarships, strong extracurricular, but GPA is 3.04 with no personal funding. What are chances? Your GPA is slightly low, but because you have, if you have other things, as you said, you have strong extracurricular activities. If you have done any research or if you have done any work or internship, that might help you to get into the program. Okay, someone is asking, I hold a PhD in health systems and management and would want to teach in universities in America. Okay, so if you have a PhD, then I would encourage you to look at jobs on Academic Keys. It is ACADEMICKEYS, academickeys.com, or higheredjobs.com, HIGHERED jobs.com, academickeys.com, and higheredjobs.com. So that can help you. Okay, someone is asking me about myself because they joined late. Well, my name is Waseem Haider, and I am a professor of mechanical and materials engineering at Central Michigan University. I'm not a consultant. I'm a professor, and I'm here, just to help students, help them, and guide them on how to apply and how to win scholarships. If you just put my name, Waseem Haider, on YouTube, you should be able to see my channel. Okay. Another question. So I'm gonna take a few more questions and then be done for day. Scholarships for bachelor's in medicine, right? So in US, you have to have a 4 years degree, bachelor's degree, before you apply into MD program, which is a doctor of medicine. So you have to have at least 16 years of education to apply into that program. Okay. Someone is asking, master's 3.9, bachelor's 3.6, thesis work on microbial electrochemical system for wastewater treatment, have submitted to publication. What are the chances? I think it's a pretty good chances you have a strong profile. I've done my MBA and taught undergrad students in development studies program. I don't have any research papers. Am I eligible? Yes, you are. If you reach to a professor during master's application but don't receive a response or pause, is it still helpful to mention the professor's name? Yes, you can. If that's the professor you really want to work with, then I would say yes, you can mention their name. Please tell in the QS subject ranking the only criteria to shortlist universities for PhD pursuit. Is there any other aspects plus highlight? Again, the US News ranking ranks universities in the US. So you can check their website to look also at the university ranking. Sir, does experience in your field help get you graduate funding? Yes, it can definitely help, especially if you're working for a good company and have a great experience, which is relevant to for the PhD which you want to work with. Okay, so I'm almost done with time. I was planning to be here for about 55 minutes, so it's 54 minutes now. A professor has encouraged me to apply, but the university only allows students to join groups when they arrive on campus. Should I apply? Again, I would still encourage you to apply. Um, okay. Again, I'm so sorry I may not be able to take all the questions. There are so many of them, but I did my bachelor's in geophysics from Bahria University in 2021. I am doing odd jobs. I'm interested in environment subjects. Please recommend some scholarships. Again, in US, you don't really have to look for a scholarship, particular scholarship to apply. You can apply into master's or PhD program, and then automatically, once you get accepted, you can automatically um, be considered for a scholarship. You don't really have to have a particular scholarship to apply for. I think that's a big confusion, right? Hope it helps now. How many research papers are required for to compete? Again, you don't have to have publication, but if you have two or three or four publication, that's very good. During scholarship, how much percentage of BS GPA and percentage of other achievements? BS GPA, usually you have to have that minimum requirement. Some universities say 3, others may say 3.3. So once you are above that, it's a positive check. But if your GPA is higher and higher, if it's 3.5 and 3.7 and 3.8, then you have a lot more chances. But your statement of purpose, your recommendation letters, all those are very important as well. Can I get into a PhD in journalism and mass communication? I have a master's degree in journalism. Yes, you can. My wife is doing MS mathematics last semester, doing research in flood using machine learning for PhD ones. What would be the strategy means any publication for scholarships? If she has a publication, that's great. If not, then I would say connecting with a professor, talking to them, and really, networking with them or kind of make a research plan with them really, really helps. What's the actual timeline? When should we contact professors? Again, in order to get accepted in September or August of 2026, you need to apply now. So you need to apply in general about 10 months in advance. So US universities are taking application now for master's and PhD if you want to start in August of 2026. Okay. I think I have taken a lot of questions. So thank you so much for your time. I really, really appreciate it. And hope to catch you next time.